All right.
Four.
To countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Where's the camera?
Hello, everyone.
Everywhere.
Welcome. Today we have such a treat. I have been waiting probably a little over a month for this episode. I am so excited. You got my co-host, Steve.
Hey, guys.
My co-host,
Hey, Steve.
Malone.
Hey, you know what's up?
Yes, and we have Chris, our guest, Chris. Hi, Chris. And my favorite, OBGYN Dr. Cristal Lynch.
Hello, hi.
All right.
Today is such a treat. What do you think? I see those wheels spinning.
The wheels are spinning.
Mhm.
Lou,
What's
and
going on?
I'm thinking about what is the title of this episode. And right now, my rough draft is sex, sexual health, and private parts.
Ooh.
We like that.
I like that.
I like
we're
that
gonna
too.
break into it. I'm not saying that it has to be the title, but it's kind of kicking around in my brain.
That
All right,
sounds
My brain
that
cells.
sounds
Well,
good.
when you break in nice and easy, okay?
Nice.
Because we're breaking in Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
One does want to use foreplay. You know, you get
Whoa.
slow. You don't just go right in, right?
I never
No, you
thought
don't.
at 61 I'd be getting my cherry popped.
Oh!
One. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Why you have that blanket though?
We're off
Right.
to a quick start. I can't control the action, Lou. It's coming in.
It's
hot.
coming in hot. Wait. ¿Cómo lo dices? Muy.
Caliente.
Muy caliente.
Hey, yes, there we go.
Buen fuerte.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh la la.
All right.
Mrs. Taz, get ready.
Get ready, girl.
So,
This is Taz.
This is his
wife.
wife.
Okay, gotcha.
So, alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive right into this because this is one interesting episode. Well, Dr. Lynch, I am so happy
Yes.
that you are here. Thank you so much. I have been so excited for this day.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course.
I've never seen or done a podcast before. So, yeah.
So I'm popping your
a
cherry too?
podcast version. Yes. Yes.
Podcast for
Podcast version. So, but I'm happy to be here. And I know you wanted to talk about menopause and sexual health,
Absolutely.
you know, as it relates to menopause.
Mhm.
So I brought some things and we can start wherever you want, really. I mean,
Ooh, let's see. Where would you guys like
Yeah.
to start?
Doctor, I think it's great that you're here, and I would love to just kind of hear a little bit more about who you are and your area of expertise.
well, okay. So I've been practicing OBGYN for 32 years in Torrance. And so just 16 months or so ago, I stopped delivering babies because, you know, I had done it for 36 years altogether.
Wow.
So now my focus, because I am also menopausal, is mature women's health, sexual health. There are a lot of people who say that they were never told and that they didn't know what would happen when they became menopausal and that they're surprised that nobody told them certain things about
the hush hush thing.
well, I think so.
I think
And
it's
so right
embarrassing. A lot
now,
of people are embarrassed about discussing this subject. Yeah.
no, I think you're right. Things that can happen with the vaginal dryness, the shrinkage in the caliber of vagina, painful intercourse, hot flashes, the change in body composition. We gain more weight in midsection, and then the mood change because of no sleep at night, hot flashes, night sweats. All of these things happen, but all of it can be addressed.
Yes.
Every single thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, I've known you for how many years? So when you started there at the office, it was Lisa. What was her last name? Dr. Lisa.
Nelson.
Was it
Lisa Nelson. She was my partner. So that would have been like 2000.
No, prior to her. Let's see. It was Dr. Barini.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Lisa,
I can't remember.
I came after her.
yes, you came.
So
after her.
I worked with Dr. Barini in 1992,
92.
I think.
That's what I
92.
thought. Yes, because
Right.
she delivered the baby. Well, my middle son. So that's how long I've been going to Dr. Lynch. And she delivered my baby, my last baby.
Mhm. Yeah. So, which was my pleasure.
No,
Mhm.
I always tell them, don't forget, Dr. Lynch brought you into
She
this
knows
world.
what it looks like down there.
As she sure does.
Well, yeah, and so things change when you don't use hormone replacement in the vagina. If you don't moisturize the vagina, if you don't, they say if you don't use it, you lose it. It actually is true.
Uh-oh.
If you don't use hormone and you have no penetrative intercourse, you can decrease in caliber and the lining in the vagina. You can have traumatic intercourse with tears in the
Oh,
vagina, all sorts of things. So
Wow.
and that's, a lot of women don't understand that. And gentlemen don't understand that either. There comes a point, your wife is really young right now, but there's going to come a point where you're going to be like,
Wait.
why is she rejecting me?
How
Or
young?
how young?
How young is your wife?
My wife is 40. She will be 43.
That's not
So
young. I thought you were
She'll
talking
be
about 20
43.
years
Oh,
old.
no.
And,
But you
baby
don't
is
start menopause until like 48.
No,
49.
I started at 40.
40?
Yeah, I'm
You've
menopause.
been dry for how many years?
I wasn't
already?
dry though, but I went through menopausal because I was when the situation happened, I've always been moist. And when the situation happened, it was a terrible experience. Why are you guys laughing? I'm trying to be serious.
No, it's just Chris is making me laugh.
I'm making faces.
You can be serious and loose at the same time.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
You can use the word moist.
it was
Moist.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
yes,
She wants
moist
to.
is good.
Moist
Absolutely.
is good.
Moist
We
is
want
good.
And
moist.
be serious.
Yeah.
The moist
Yeah.
episode,
My
everybody.
moisture
Dew point.
So yeah, my moisture kind of lacked
Mhm.
because I always do these long intervals because I'm really particular on who enters my cave.
Ooh.
Exactly.
And everyone doesn't get to shop at the candy store, if you know what I mean.
Ouch.
Well,
So what ended up happening was it was a long period of time.
mhm.
I mean, I'm sharing this, I shouldn't be, but I was a squirter.
Oh, okay.
So we can get
Mhm.
into the squirter scenarios later on because I know people want to ask questions in regards to that. But let
Yes.
me just stay on track right now.
Okay.
So, anywho,
Yes.
it was one situation that I encountered. And first of all, I'm allergic to latex. So you're going to have the lambskin
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be.
The 5-star.
Yes, the good stuff. Not a cheap
What
one.
about bareback?
No. And so if I know you could be bareback, but until then. But
Right.
the situation happened where it was a long period of time. And the guy was huge, almost the size of this mic. And
Thanks a lot.
but
And-
I end up it was a horrible experience for me. I was dry, which was crazy for me.
Yes.
I think I wasn't hydrated. I think I needed some water. But I was dry, and then after the end results,
Mhm.
I was like raw and I was like bleeding a little.
Yes, that's what we call the traumatic intercourse. Not so much emotionally, though it probably was too, because it's a change for you, and you probably
Right.
never had that problem. But when your ovaries start when you're menopausal and your ovaries aren't making estrogen anymore, and also the testosterone is decreased by more than 50% too. You're not making that moisture that crosses.
Wait.
over.
Testosterone? We have testosterone as
Girl,
well?
Yes,
women
we
have
have
testosterone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
testosterone. Yeah, the ovaries make testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. That's why testosterone is a good thing to replace in the vagina as well for the moisture. So the testosterone will produce a mucin, and then the estrogen will help you make that moisture come across the walls of the vagina with arousal. So, like if you put a glass mug, beer mug in the freezer, and then you take it out and you see that condensation that's on it,
The frost.
that's the frost.
Yes.
That's what the vagina does
Yes.
in the with the moisture. So when you don't have that and it's been a long time, we have a thinning of the walls of the vagina. So
Oh, okay.
I always tell people you can compare it to like 7-layer bean dip versus
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
I
right.
make those.
So
Yeah.
mhm,
So once the woman ventures into the dry lake bed,
yes,
is it possible?
yes, for
like,
reversing,
for reversing the?
very
guess-
possible.
I guess-
That's what
The
people
Dead Sea?
don't
I mean-
know.
I guess, but what does that require for
No, this is a great question. But that's what people don't know. So, and
Right.
that's what the women say nobody told them, and they didn't get the heads up. Okay, so let's say if it's okay to be celibate. So if there's no sex, we need a moisturizer. Okay, so the moisturizers can be hyaluronic acid moisturizers because. Like the oil of Olay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it has hyaluronic acid in it. So we call this like oil of Olay for the vagina.
Nice.
And
What?
yes.
Olive oil for the
So I
vagina.
have some. Now,
So-
this is
Can
a
you say the word again? Hyaluronic
acid.
Hyaluronic.
They use that on
acid.
hair too.
Yes.
Ironic.
And doctor, that would be
Okay.
something that like a woman could or
Insert.
could go
You
and get
insert.
at a
Yeah, this is a
drugstore, or is that a
suppository.
prescription.
No, it's not a prescription.
It's over the
You
counter.
can get
go
over
and
the
get
counter.
it.
There are many over the
Hyaluronic
counter.
acid.
It's very common in facial stuff too.
Yes,
The
because it brings
hyaluronic.
moisture. We want
Yes.
moisture.
It
So can I
pumps
use
up
that in my vagina and on my face at the same time?
Well,
Like if
some
I use
people-
it, it's not melted. I can take it and put it on my face.
You could.
Oh, nice.
You definitely could.
Yes.
So these come suppository and they're twice a week at night.
And you know they have some that are actually there's some that they sell that are flavored like pineapple, cherry.
Flavored.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
How
I,
often do you find that people are uneducated about this?
good question.
Like you were saying, like I
Good
was hearing the women
question.
say, like we didn't know or we didn't get trained or we
yes.
didn't get.
They
this sort of-
do. They come in very
How
surprised.
common is that to you?
Well, I would say so, especially in the older ones too, 60, 70 years old. So probably 70% or 60 to 70%. It's more than half of the
Mm.
people that I
yeah,
see. Yes.
Exactly.
So what? Back to what my question was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like-
so
Okay, so you said use it or lose it. Well, if you lose it, what natural, like
remedies.
remedy is there? Is it just like a male female progression where you just get together and the intimacy can bring it back, or do you have to take something for it?
Well, so what?
required?
Unfortunately, what
Question.
gets set up because of the traumatic intercourse? Then what can happen from that is now the person is reticent to do it. They don't want to have penetrative intercourse now because they're anticipating pain, and that anticipation
Oh.
of pain is called vaginismus. And so you can use vibrators that can help the pelvic floor relax.
Do we have one of
Awesome.
those here?
And
that we can
so-
demonstrate.
Well, we have this one.
I could grab that. The blue.
Blue.
Well,
So this is a vibrator that can be used for pelvic floor relaxation. Now,
Wow.
But-
Can I touch
everything
that?
bigger?
no,
Oh, that feels so nice.
doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
This is silicone.
Oh.
You see how nice
Okay.
and smooth they are.
Can you turn
So-
it on so,
so-
I can
so-
feel the vibration?
So
Yeah.
go ahead
This
and
one
talk
in
about-
particular, though, I have to admit, this one in particular is more. You see the curve. It's really more for this whole G spot area of stimulation. But
Wait. So that's supposed to go up inside you?
well, this is supposed to go inside. Now you can hold it this way, and it can give
Yes.
that pelvic muscular floor at the bottom. You know, it
Oh
can
my
give
God.
stimulation. But this is just one
You
way.
intimidated? Don't be
This is for
intimidated.
No,
the-
I'm perfectly comfortable with my parts. I'm
So,
not
Doctor,
intimidated by that
this,
thing.
This what this would
I'm not
do
scared.
is it would do two things. One is it might help a woman kind of restore the
Caliber,
anatomy
of course.
of her vagina, and also deliver
Well,
some,
is that the
maybe
only thing
deliver
that
pleasure, or would that be
Oh,
kind of
pleasure for sure, but also some stimulation of the muscle with the vibration and blood flow. It's all key.
It's all
We
blood
want
flow,
blood flow
yes.
coming in.
But yes,
Exactly.
blood flow
So-
and
And these are the
muscle.
dilators.
Can I
I
see?
think are
I'll pass.
more.
So let me let's stay on this for a second.
Okay.
So, I mean, since I have not been sexually involved, this is quite large.
That's not for you. That one I wouldn't
shouldn't. I should start with the starter
One of
kit.
those over there.
Okay.
Yes. Now these are the dilators. These are expressly for that purpose. For
Okay.
somebody who has kind of shrunken down a little bit, contracted a little bit the tissues because of lack of use,
So-
and we want to bring them back up. So you start small, and they're even smaller, but you start small and you use a little lidocaine gel around the vagina, and then you put it in, and it sits for 5 minutes, four times a week. And then once you've mastered this without feeling that tightening of the muscle or pain, etc., then you go up to the next size.
Okay.
This is vaginal therapy.
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's very good. This is in lieu of PT. You can get physical therapy too, where you go and they actually work those muscles to
Punani
get that.
physical
Wow,
therapy, really? Where can I get Punani physical therapy? I would love it.
She's
A tall, sexy
know.
brother giving me PT. If you out there and you giving PT, I'll take it.
What about your partner? Does he?
Oh,
why can't you work together
You
to
can.
accomplish the same goal without all this stuff?
No, you can't.
This is for someone
can't.
without
This-
a partner.
Oh, it is.
Right. Or this is for
Hey,
people.
I only got 2 eyes. Keep that away from me.
No, this is also for people with partners, but they can't have sex without pain. I have many patients who they've been sexually active forever,
Okay.
and then she maybe had a slump, maybe he had a prostate issue or whatever.
Right.
Now they're 65 and they want to get back in it, and she just can't do it.
So I have a story
They
on
start
that.
with this.
Because I want you to continue, but I want to tell you the story real
Yes,
quick. I'm
yes.
sorry to interject.
No, no.
So I did have a husband, and I won't name which one because I had 3 or 4 of them, so you won't know which one, but you know who you are. Anyway, he had trouble getting erect.
Okay.
He was huge. So he was about this size too,
Mhm.
ouch.
but he could not get erect. And so what happened is he said he ended up, this was his story, sickle cell anemia.
Oh.
And when he went, it did something to his penis, right?
Yes.
So instead of being like this, it was like this, right? So they gave him 2 options. He could put a balloon in there and he'd have to pump it,
Mhm.
or he had to take this thing. I shouldn't even laugh
And
because it's
put
not
the
even funny.
rod down the.
And he had to go, he had to pump it
Oh, pump
and then
it.
put a
Oh,
cock
put a ring
ring.
on it.
You don't have a
Yes.
cock ring, huh?
Yep.
So when Beyonce said put a ring on it, she's not talking about this ring, honey.
Is that for real? Is that what
That's a
she's talking
melon.
about?
That's a melon joke.
Oh, okay.
But let's just for tonight's episode say that we know the real story. behind it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but it
I hope
was
you put a ring on it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
there, I have some friends who have boyfriends who need that too. The suction pump,
Right.
get the blood in there.
Right.
Put
It's
the
all
ring down
about
to
the
keep
blood.
the blood in.
And it was a trip because he had a
Yeah.
okay, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
By then I wasn't. I was like, oh.
Yeah, so does that see
It does
things
happen.
like does it ruin the mood because it's not organic, right?
Right.
That's kind of scary.
I think you should go, a man, if he has to do that, I think you should probably go to excuse yourself to the restroom and then pump it up and then come out and say, yeah, girl, what's up?
But then you have the thing on it. Then you have the cock ring.
too happy
on
But the
with that
cock ring is
haircut.
sexy. I like that.
This one is not a cock ring, but it's
See,
a
would you
nice
mind-
vibrator.
Would you mind, Chris, give it?
Well, I can't get.
What is that?
Yeah, you did good.
What is that, a male vibrator?
I'll get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't.
She's got it. She knows
really
what
move
the
This one is
equipment is.
This one's a vibrator,
Uh-huh.
but it goes on the penis. Now it
Yes,
looks small, but it stretches.
Show the camera so, they
So-
can see that.
Oh yes, sorry.
Can we open that
In front of
box
the
or is
balls?
Can we
that
open that box?
In front
I
of the
can't
balls or
see it in the
behind the
box.
balls?
Or it's, oh.
Well, this isn't
No,
the
'cause it's for
display.
sale.
I can open it. Okay, so
I'll
this
buy
is
it.
the story.
It's sold. It's sold.
As long as you take EBT, I got it.
So
That's
Okay.
EBT, so I guess EBT is okay for that.
So this one goes on the penis once it's erect, and it has about 6.
Did you guys know about these?
yes.
You had one before?
Sorry.
I plead the fifth.
I was unaware of a vibrating cock ring. I didn't.
But you were aware of a cock ring?
I'm aware of a cock ring. I'm aware of a vibrator. I didn't know that technology had
Oh, yeah.
fused these two
Absolutely.
modern
Yes.
delights
There are
There you
into
go.
one tool.
Yeah.
there are these things
So,
called
I'm
O
learning.
nuts that go on the penis to
Oh, nuts.
O nuts.
Oh, nuts?
Oh.
Well, they're to prevent that deep penetration. So let's say in menopause you had a hysterectomy
Oh.
or you didn't have sex for a long time. So all that elasticity is gone. And so you
Right.
don't want that deep penetration because it's painful.
Yes.
Or it's what do you call lock and key mismatch between you and your partner. So
What?
you're
What is it called?
Lock and
lock
key.
and key,
mismatch.
like you're a
Key-
small
key in
lady
the lock.
and he's maybe longer. So there are these O nuts you can slide down on the penis to prevent deep penetration.
On the head, right?
Oh.
So
Yeah.
if you're
Well,
this
actually,
size,
shaft
if
all the
you
way
are
down.
this size, right?
Right.
And she can't take it all, you put the O nut right here. But
Right.
because when men get excited, they'll start like this. I'm just putting the tip in. I'm just gonna put the tip in, and they go, "Fool!" And you go, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" And then you're moaning, you think, oh, I'm getting it to her. But you're not giving it to her, you're killing
You're
her.
killing her. Exactly.
Scaring me.
So this is got 6 vibratory modes,
I like that.
and it
Want that.
goes down on the penis, and then this part vibrating. So if it's man's superior position, woman on the bottom,
Right.
this will vibrate the clitoris for the woman, and then if it's rear entry, then and you turn it to
scrotum.
6 o'clock
It's for his scrotum.
for the scrotum.
Yep.
Exactly,
And it's rechargeable,
Men
right?
love
and it's
that.
rechargeable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much
It's
do those
also
run?
really
Let's-
pretty.
let's
too.
pass
I
it
mean,
It
around.
is
know?
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Dr. Lynch?
See how
Let's see.
I'm stuck on
feels?
this right now.
Yeah,
I
you
can't let
are.
it go.
Put a ring.
You're-
Put
Put a ring on it. That's
Put a ring on it,
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
if you really want to put a cock ring on it.
That
Now,
is
see?
interesting.
I thought that these were because
So
I have
also see here there's a plus and minus, so you can control the.
Yes.
oh
speed
the
of
vibration.
vibration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that
Plus and minus.
rechargeable?
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
a little charger thing in there.
Feel that, Chris?
Most of the things these days are silicone.
Now it does stretch, right?
Velvet a little
It
bit.
stretches
Yeah.
a lot.
But if the guy is smaller than that, like give me the smaller one.
I'm gonna throw it in the trash.
oh, the dilator?
Yeah, give me the smaller one.
Oh yeah, no, this is no.
Yeah. So if you are like this,
That's not gonna.
yeah, this
Matches your hair.
Yeah.
it probably is not gonna. Yeah, it does, huh? But I thought these were butt plugs.
No, these aren't anal plugs. These are for women who, let's say you're born and the hymen is super small. Some girls can't do tampons or anything, and we try to do surgery to make
Yes,
room.
yes.
After we've made room, there's still no room. They start really small, and then they go through the whole set of 8.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
Can-
they're
can you
able
hold
to
that
be
up to the
sexually
camera
active.
so they can see the whole
You
box.
see, yeah, this is the starter
That's the
set.
starter kit. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a child.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
more
a
like
kid.
unfortunately there are a couple of people that start maybe here really
Yeah.
more
I mean, I could
realistically.
probably see there, especially anal. So here you go.
Okay, she has
I mean,
a little bit of
because-
anal
I mean, we
fixation
can't
there.
get around anal because that is a new thing that people are doing now. And so I did have a question that someone actually asked me, and I didn't really have. I mean, I had my answer, but from a doctor. I didn't go to school for that.
Where's your proof in that?
Of the anal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Need a
honey.
survey or what?
It's a friend of mine.
Um.
a friend
A
of mine.
friend of mine.
Heard from a friend of mine.
A friend of mine had anal,
Yes.
and it didn't feel good. She said when it first started. I guess she needed to start it with the little one. But my question is that, and a lot of people don't understand. I want them to know this. When you're having anal sex, should or should not the man go from anal to vaginal without cleaning
Oh.
Yes.
his parts?
No, there should be no anal to vaginal ever. And so even wiping is always front to back because you don't want to carry those organisms back into the vagina. So no, there should be evacuation of the rectum, cleansing should have happened. This should be planned, you know.
Some people don't know that.
Yeah.
Because you get in
That's a
the
good
heat,
question.
the heat of the moment
Mhm.
and you start doing all kind of stuff. Now,
Yeah.
how about anal to mouth?
So that's rimming.
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm just,
Well, that rimming, you know,
Oh, it was kind of a
likewise,
giggle.
somebody should have prepared a bit, definitely, but be super clean. You just don't want to put the tongue into the anus,
anal
but
cavity.
The rimming is around the anus there. That's what you're.
What-
That's
what
Oh.
happens if you put it in there?
well, you. I mean, you can put it wherever you want, but
But
the
we
thing
wanna
is,
know
there's
the-
bacteria. There's those.
yeah.
Yeah. So
feces.
you can clean the outside well, but inside we're going to
The
have
crevices.
the
Had a
shit mouth.
I had a doctor
Yeah,
tell me
so-
once that's designed for out only.
Well, that is true.
That
As
is
a
true.
doctor, what are the negative consequences of like that bacteria re-entering the vagina
Yes.
or re-entering the
So that re-entering sets up. So there's a lot of E. coli and different bacteria in the rectum. So we have enterococcus and different bacteria that can set up vaginitis, basically. So you get sort of like different pH change in the vagina. You get a colonization of bacteria that are really rectal bacteria. the closeness of the urethra to the vagina as well. We can get some of those bacteria into the bladder. So you just get infections sometimes.
Now, do the men get any kind of infections from doing anal?
Oh, I think so.
I'm just
Well, this
asking
is a good question.
No, I mean,
You work with women, so I imagine.
Yes.
I think
I don't see that much. I don't hear about it. So I don't know about that, but it's a good question because you could get bacteria down your urethra,
yeah.
unless you use a condom. I know people can get hepatitis from
Why wouldn't you be
anal
able to,
organisms.
why wouldn't you be able to if you get other sexually transmitted diseases?
Yeah, no,
sorry.
it makes sense logically that you could get some bacteria down the urethra that aren't meant to be there.
Chris, you could go like move over and
I'm like this.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
Sorry.
No, don't.
That's my
apologize.
first time.
I know.
Kind of an
Me
amateur.
too.
Yeah,
Me
you're a
too. We're
virgin.
both
You guys are
virgins.
virgins.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
Guys,
Doctor, I
you're
have
doing
a
really
I have
good,
a
though.
question for
You're
you,
lasting a
doctor.
long time for
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a
Let
question.
me ask. Okay, so the ones that you showed in the boxes,
Yes.
are those considered more like medical devices or sex toys?
No.
And then where can you get them? How can people get them?
Which ones? The dilators?
Yes.
Yeah. So no, these are medical devices, and you can get them.
Through Dr. Lynch.
Well, you can Google online. They're even on Amazon, and there are different kinds made out of different material. The reason I brought the silicone is because I prefer that.
Feels
It's
good.
smooth. It feels
Yeah.
really good. And so I prefer the silicone ones, and I like the shape of these, that they're graduated. So when you get down to the root, that's the largest place, and that's where you need that dilatation. So they start off small, and then they get bigger at the root. So
And we-
those are medical devices.
And we
Got
did emphasize that you have to wash these,
Yes,
Correctly.
you have
Exactly.
to
sanitize.
sanitize.
Right.
Now I'm gonna go back backwards because I did research on where vibrators were originated, and vibrators were originated as a medical device because women were suffering from hysteria. And these became, the doctor, I can't remember his name, invented the vibrator, which helped the women with hysteria. So it was a medical apparatus, and then it became a sexual apparatus.
Oh.
Well, so
She's not just pretty. No, go ahead.
no, so that's the story that's been perpetuated and that we really all believed for a long time. So we don't have a lot of proof of that, though. The first vibrator was like in the 1880s. Okay,
1880?
well, 1860 was a steam operated
around there, yeah.
vibrator.
Yeah.
But operated with
Wow.
steam.
A
And then the
steam.
second one was the electro.
powerful.
Mhm.
Right. The electromagnetic. And this was like in 1880 and by a British doctor. So he developed this it was for men, for their musculoskeletal, problems, and then to help with their digestion and things like that. And this guy, right.
There it is, yeah.
Granville.
Wow.
So it didn't really help with that.
Mhm.
And so then later on, there was so then they started to manufacture them. They were medical devices. So they were manufacturing them and they were said, oh, this is a big bust. It's a failure. It's not really helping anything. But then they discovered that, women were using this for relief. And so, but there's a story that there's doctors back then were manually bringing women to orgasm to relieve them of all of their hysteria, like you
Yes,
say,
yeah.
mood change, and etc. But and they were getting carpal tunnel syndrome from that, and all of that is what they were saying. But none of it's proven,
Well, my grandmother, she was born in 1912, and I asked her, and she said, "Well, 1912. I'm just going by her because she's 1912." And she said, she had one.
"Oh no, no," and they were household items, and women were using them for sure. Yes.
So I want you to show the flower because that's a very popular one.
This
Can you
is
reach up for her?
popular. This is called the rose.
The rose, yes, very
And
popular.
You probably have seen people on TikTok talking about this one.
Amazing.
So,
Woo!
the
So I could be celibate for 3.5 years. Hello.
this was the number one vibrator of choice for a long time. So what people used to want were the wands. because of the pressure, because of the intensity. They're very strong, very strong. And so wands were number one. These are my Hitachi magic wand. Okay.
Hitachi magic wand.
Yeah, this was been number one for a long
Holy
time.
moly.
That looked like my back.
It is. You could be a
Massager.
back massage or something, but this one's portable,
moly.
rechargeable. You can travel with it. It's got a travel case and the whole bit.
You can travel with it.
But see,
I would love to see that go through
That'll
security.
knock some fillings out right there.
Well, these are very strong.
Chris.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't need to test it.
Okay, all right. Well,
Malone.
You want me to pass it
so
over?
they're very strong.
Some men, if you never tried it, men,
Oh my God.
I have tried it before on a man,
that's
and
way.
It's very strong.
and it was very climatic for him.
It's very strong. It's not.
I know
even
it
as
seemed
strong as
weird,
the one
but
that
yeah.
plugs in. That one's strong.
That's-
Yeah, it was for men. The vibrator
Man, that
on
feels
his
like-
testicles is very. You could hear it. Let me see.
On his nipple.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So that
Funny.
was number one, and but
Yes.
then these came along and usurped those because
Good for that.
these suck. So these suction devices,
So
and
show
there are
that to the
many of
camera.
them.
Doctor,
These. Oh yeah.
should put it up. To
Oh,
the
sorry.
camera. Yeah.
So these suction devices are now the vibrator of choice.
Yes. Number one.
Because so there are some that blow and suck, and then there are some
yes.
that suck. And this rose is number one.
Yes.
You
Can-
must have a
can I
rose.
try that?
Got a few of them.
I
Burned a
try it?
couple of them out.
Oh, this one's not charged.
Oh.
Sorry, yeah.
These all.
Yeah.
I'm
I was
sorry,
just curious.
Should
Yeah.
have brought one charged.
I burnt a couple of those out. Yeah.
And then
How many inches
Oh,
of
that's
vacuum
funny.
it pulls?
How many volts?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Amazing.
Then there's one called the Lilo Sona that's actually this conference I was at last week. They said that that's now the new number one.
Oh.
So
What
anyway,
was the name? Say that name again.
Lilo Sona.
Lilo Sona.
Yes.
Write that down.
I don't have any
Solomon.
of
What does that
those,
look
but-
like?
We're gonna put the men out of business with these vibrators. I'm just saying.
Okay, so
Well, they can utilize them.
yes.
It works as a partnership.
Okay, so while we're on that, I have a question because I heard
Mhm.
on TikTok that if the women continue to use these devices, that their clitoris will become numb to
Desensitized?
Is that true?
So there is some truth in that people worry that you can get addicted, but it's not addiction, but it is habituation. Meaning, yes, it's it used to take you to the moon, but now it's like womp womp. So what you have to do is back off. You have to back off of it. Take a
break.
vibrator break.
Okay,
But
That's right. Get
a
yourself.
vibrator break.
You
Then you
can
can take a
use
vibrator
this as much as you want, but at the end of the day, it's not the same as being with a man, though. I mean,
You don't want a man
or a
anymore.
woman, any person.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean,
Girl.
this is okay.
We just have our opinions.
Yeah.
So the thing is that once you start getting stimulated with these items, and if the man cannot stimulate you
Yes,
the same way this does, it does nothing for you.
exactly.
I mean, the
yeah.
thing is like you almost have to introduce this into your relationship or your sexual relationship. Because, like, for instance, a man, and I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
It's funny.
When a man masturbates all the time, then their climatic hit is usually pulling out and have to masturbate to complete
Complete.
because they've done it so much. And that's just from experience that I know.
Yes. Mhm.
But when I tell you about these toys, they are amazing.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, this is a weight. This is a Kegel weight.
That's heavy.
It is heavy.
How
Talk about the Kegel.
But this is very good because that whole pelvic floor that has there's the uterus, the rectum, and the vagina all sitting in this hammock sling of muscle, and that's your pelvic floor. And so with pushing babies out or lifting heavy or having bronchitis and coughing all the time, whatever it is, all the pressure down there, these can prolapse. So these Kegels are really good for people with incontinence or, they're urinating on themselves when they cough and laugh or,
I thought that was squirting.
well, people do say squirting is urination, but this is like outside of sex. This is like you're just walking down the street and you coughed and,
Yes,
boom, or down your leg.
What does that do?
So it's a weight.
It
And
goes
they're-
inside.
yeah, mhm,
It's
yeah.
inserted.
Explain where the Kegel is muscle because a lot of
So
people
heavy,
don't
how
know.
does it stay in there?
Well, you have to
That's-
build up to
There
it.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now there is a
Like
set
lifting
of like
weights.
Kegel weights that I have.
Okay.
I didn't bring them, but they're shaped like tampons and they're different graduated weights.
I
6
get it.
different
I
weights.
get it now.
You put it in, hold it as far as long as you can. Once you've mastered it, do another one, then get another one, and build yourself up. This one's a little bit tougher because you put the larger end in first, hold it in, and
Hard.
well, you're lying down or sitting down or
What do
something.
you call that again?
This is a Kegel sizer.
Like cake? I always
It's
thought it was
K
Kegel.
E K.
Kegel
It could
maneuver.
be. I call it
Kegel,
but-
Kegel,
That's what
Kegal.
you're talking about,
Same
though?
thing. Yeah.
That's okay.
That's
all
what
right.
I'm
I wasn't
saying.
sure.
Though.
It's the muscle inside of the vaginal
Yeah, I
cavity.
know what
Right.
it is. I just didn't recognize
Feel
that.
You know-
how heavy
See
that
how
is, guys.
heavy
Huh?
it is?
Feel how heavy that is.
So,
Yeah, that's pretty
so
awesome.
to the viewers, I'll explain Kegel. So when you insert into the woman, right,
Likes that
and you
word.
feel that
Very heavy.
her
The
squeezing
clamp.
like that,
The clamp.
that is your Kegel
Yes.
or Kegel, or however you want to
Okay.
pronounce it.
Thank you.
Right.
For,
So that's
Yeah.
what, and so usually I'm so good that I hold it and you don't let them go. It'd be like a cat to get you
You need a-
stuck. You can't.
you need a garden hose
Yeah.
to get out of there, huh?
I think I lift about 20.
Question: Have you ever been able to introduce some of these toys
Toys.
into relationships?
Yes, I have.
And how did you do that?
So in the midst of our romantic love spurt, I said, you know what? Grab that vibrator over there. And that particular person was okay with it.
Mm.
And he took it and he used it. And then I took it and used it on him.
Uh-huh.
And he had an amazing
Oh,
experience
yeah.
with it.
That's really
That,
good.
yeah. So the ladies, yeah, the men, they may be rejective at first, but
In the midst of it, they like that.
they love it because they're experiencing something
Mhm.
they've never experienced. So, like even with the cock ring
Yes,
with
that
the
one.
vibration,
Yeah.
it was amazing because he felt the vibration on his testicles as well,
Kind of scrotum.
scrotum,
Yes.
Scrotum.
Testicles, scrotum,
scrotum,
Balls.
testicle, balls,
Sack.
nuts.
sack, nuts,
Nuts.
street word, my dang dangs, whatever you want to use it.
But
I mean,
that stimulation to the
that
balls.
stimulation to the balls was amazing to not only him but me. So
Mhm.
we both hit a climatic. Sorry.
She's remembering.
Oh, brought me back. Oh
You look
Lord.
like you're a little bit
Not-
sweaty.
Yeah.
She's having an episode.
Little-
Yeah,
not
but
much, but just like a little.
yes,
You're
honey, and
glistening.
yeah. So not only did I squirt, he squirted. What?
Was it the vibrator that you used? Was it shaped like a dildo, or was it just like a power thing, like this magic wand?
No, it wasn't like the magic wand. It was. He needs water. He needs oxygen.
No, I'm okay. My allergies are. I'm sorry. I
Oh yeah, I
apologize.
used to call it allergies too.
I have.
But
Yeah, I have allergies.
he's crying.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of men are threatened by
I'm
that
getting all
that
emotional.
kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of
Right.
men
wanted to
are
ask
threatened,
you
but it was
about
small.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want you to bring that one to the
Right.
right.
Or this.
Yeah, or that. Well, yeah, not so much that one.
Yeah,
either,
this
but-
one.
Have you
but
counseled patients on
Couples?
that subject where they're like, "Doctor, I would like to do this. How do I do it?"
Well,
And
I have some older patients who were raised maybe with certain sort of religiosity, maybe depending on culture, you
Right,
know, and they in general feel reticent to use any of it, but maybe now they're widows. And so you have to talk to them about how it brings in blood supply and moisture and
Stimulation.
pleasure and so it's not just for that. But I only have had a couple say to me that they couldn't incorporate it into the play because the partner is threatened by it. So I haven't seen a lot of couples.
Would you be
together
threatened by
coming
it?
What? By what?
By bringing this to the table?
Absolutely not.
Okay. How about
no,
you?
absolutely
Steve?
not. I'm confident with.
I think whatever makes the sex fun and pleasurable
Yeah,
and
fun.
enjoyable
Oh,
The only-
there you go. That's
the only
a
thing-
Steve.
is worth to
That's
do.
a Steve
The only thing-
answer.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if it's gonna make the experience richer or funner or sexier or more connective or whatever you're fucking or lovemaking or whatever you're doing,
Right,
Yeah.
right? Like
right.
whatever works, as long as both people are into it.
Mhm.
Right.
Try.
The only
you know?
thing that gets me about it kind of is like once you go there, coming back without it, you know, like what the traditional type of, you know,
Well, that's what she was.
Intimate-
Don't come back.
Yes.
like if you're constantly searching for something to make the pleasure better,
Better. Mhm.
and you're not emotionally connected and stay at that level, then,
Oh.
then you get to a point. I mean, I know I'm a little.
No, I get it. I get it.
But like,
No,
I
that's
mean,
a good
I was
That's a
going to
good
ask like
point.
how good, how much do emotions play into that intimacy level? Like, okay, these are all great.
Yes.
Okay. And I have no problem with it. But like when it boils down to a relationship with a woman that's going through this stuff, I mean, I think that the emotions between the two
Play a
and that
factor.
intimacy play a huge factor.
It's a really good point because usually you're not even going to break out some of these things with somebody that you're not really so comfortable with.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
It started usually just you and the person.
Yes.
And then maybe you wanted to bring in some spice or something or try something new and you did that. For these therapeutic options because their woman is having a problem or even the man's having a
Mhm.
problem,
Mhm.
there's a lot of patience on on each partner's side to make the sex work and to make it
Yeah.
happen. And when you have that commitment where there's erectile dysfunction, but
Yeah, stage
she's
fright.
rolling that thing down and
Mhm.
reassuring
Mhm.
you.
Performance anxiety.
Yes,
Yes.
and she's having the problem where she's dry, and you're like, "That's okay." You're rubbing that lube
Right.
in there. You
Right.
guys are closer and closer. So
Exactly.
you will never do this all the time. It's not something.
Yeah.
And I don't
I
think
get
you'll
that.
lose the intimacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're going to, I've been menopausal a long time. I am 58 years old, so I've been through it. I have 5 children, or 4, 3. I don't remember what I have, but whatever. I'm a grandmama, so it's the thing that and I'm gonna tell the truth because at a certain point, you become sex is not interesting anymore. It's like you have to like arouse a woman. What they always say, like arouse. I'm a mental person, so
Yeah.
mentally you're arousing me mentally.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, and
because-
then you come break out some toys and say, "Look what I got you." I mean, I have men that mail me vibrators,
Yeah.
and they want the whole show, and it's arousing to me to okay, well that's it because I like long distance
it's a
relationships.
little, I think it's like a little start, right? Like
It's a spark.
Remember we talked about
What about this?
before?
Like, do you? I mean, I also want to know about like a stereotype. You sound like you're a woman that, even though you've been through menopause, your libido is still
Hi.
quite high, right? Where what I've heard is like many women that just kind of drops off.
Plateau.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like,
that's
and then
a
there's like, I'm curious to hear you talk about treatments that sort of regenerate that for women, because I think there's a lot of women who maybe they would like to, or maybe they
don't know
feel
how
they don't know
to
how to,
express.
or maybe they're feeling like I don't know, like
Well,
guilt.
there are
or
a
pressure
lot
on
of
their
women that
partner, I
use-
think.
and like the partner is missing that.
Finding the right partner that can stimulate that.
finding the right partner, but you have to want to even get to that stage.
Exactly.
See,
That's a real-
women
yeah.
are
With them.
emotional.
Yeah.
Women are
Mhm.
mentally
that-
emotional.
Right.
What
And-
percentage of women would you say once
and
they
I
kind of
agree with
cross
what
the
you said,
threshold of
because-
menopause, you're kind
Menopause.
of complete, versus how many want to restore that in themselves?
So no. So once most women in relationship or even not in have become menopausal, so percentage of people who want to still get that back and get their old self back and they're happy in their marriages or relationships, they're comfortable. They very few of them, let's call it 30%, are like, I'm okay. It's okay if he can get his pleasure or however, but I'm okay to not ever do it again. So we'll call that 20 to 30%. The other women really want to feel that desire again. And they really want to, and they want to be orgasmic again, perhaps like they were before, because
Right.
some of the orgasms definitely lose their edge. So,
Right.
so we have a lot of really interesting things that we didn't have before. So there's these arousal gels that you can use that are sildenafil, which is basically active ingredient for Viagra. You
Is
can
that
put
one
that.
up there?
No, these are just the lubricants and moisturizers. But there's arousal gels. You
Yeah.
can get Zestra online.
like
Zestra
this.
is kind of herbal. That's a good moisturizer and that's a good lubricant. Then there's that injection you can give yourself 40 minutes before the interlude or within 24 hours, called Vyleesi.
What?
The
Wait.
Viagra.
What?
Yeah,
women.
it's
There's an injection?
Yeah, it's real interesting.
Called
It's
what?
like an EpiPen type thing.
Vyleesi.
Vyleesi.
Vyleesi. Can I get that from my doctor? Can he prescribe that?
You can.
You can see Dr. Lynch.
Can you
for it.
prescribe me
Yeah,
at the end of
yes,
this?
right.
Yes.
You just put it in your thigh, and what it does is it's that same brain center that the semaglutides are working on.
Mhm.
That receptor site, yes. So it promotes satiety and it makes you feel that, wow, that was worth it. That was great. It was awesome. It was juicy. And so then you want to do it again. And so that's and you use that twice a week at the most. Then there's something called Addie, which I really like. It was an SSRI study. So studied for antidepressant,
Addie?
and it's a daily pill.
Spell it. Addie.
ADDYI.
Addie.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so it was studied in women for depression, and it didn't help the depression at all, but it did help. It did increase their sex drive.
Ooh.
So they just, it was funny. They said that they just, I don't know, they couldn't get enough of it as a side effect. So now they don't use it for depression. They use it for libido.
So-
Wow.
And then there's testosterone too. We give
So-
testosterone.
But do you think that goes hand in hand? I'm sorry. I know you guys. Because I kind of think depression and sexual anxiety kind of go hand in hand. Like
Yes.
if people.
Well, we go back to why it started, right? To release the tension of the
Yeah.
women.
So they need this to.
Well, the
hysteria.
depression, and that's another thing that as it tamps down libido is depression, anxiety,
Yeah.
the whole change of your body.
Yes.
You don't
Right.
feel like your old self. You know,
Yeah.
all of these
You
things.
don't feel
So-
sexy.
Right.
I mean, like the men should kind of like tell the women. I mean, you guys not only do. Okay, so let me go into. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV once again. Like how you help your ladies. Even if you don't think she looks sexy, tell her she looks good. She looks sexy. Go buy her some sexy lingerie and say, "Ooh, girl, give it to me." Whatever. You guys are like vibrators as well.
Well, that plays into the emotion you were talking about
Right,
earlier with
intimacy.
Yeah.
the
So
emotion.
especially if you're dealing with somebody for a long time,
yeah.
I'm a person. I'm a Gemini, so I get bored real quick.
Oh, you're
So
Gemini.
yes, I am.
Okay.
You are?
Yep.
Wow. So you have to spark my whatever to just make me feel
Ignition.
good. So when you bring these things to the table, I mean something new, something different is always good. Lingerie, buy me some lingerie, light some candles, put on a thong, a cowboy hat. Ooh, I'm getting hot just thinking about that right now.
Whatever.
Yeah, you have to do those things.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
I have a question for you in
It's-
regards to like you talk about menopausal and stuff, and
Yes.
and I was going to a relationship seminar for quite some time because I couldn't understand why I was ending up with the women I was ending up with,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor that was there mentioned how changes in the body of the men and women,
Mhm.
and how the women transitions from estrogen to testosterone.
Yes.
And they transition to be more like a man. And then as men get older, the men switch
Oh, that's Tim.
and they get more like estrogen than testosterone as they get older. I mean, maybe that's an
I've
extreme
heard
example.
that. No, I heard
Have you
that.
heard about that?
And
Steve?
then along those lines, I got
the estrogen depletes, and then the testosterone is outweighing the estrogen a bit in the perimenopausal time, right?
yeah.
But the total testosterone also goes down. And then after menopause, like 10 years after menopause, testosterone is less than
Depleted.
50% of what it was before, and then estrogen is in the basement. And now for men, their testosterone depletes too, and so but there are lots of testosterone supplements for men.
But do you
I don't know
do
about
you see-
conversion to estrogen though.
Do you see tendencies in women that
To
that go
become-
through to become more?
Masculine?
Yeah.
No, they
Or
don't become more
masculine-like, not necessarily masculine, but they have the traits that is associated with the testosterone.
Mm.
Can you
No,
give me an
not
example
so
of what you're
much.
talking about? What are you talking
Well,
about?
I mean, it seems like a little I mean, this lady that I was going to, it was a conference room full of people, and it was on a weekly basis, and she was talking about how there's, I mean, all different aspects of men and women, and alpha, beta, and all that stuff, and then and how the women, as they get older, they get more like I don't know where she came up with it, but I was curious about it because I thought about it. Because
Maybe she's saying they become more like volatile or angry or aggressive or something around that perimenopausal time because all the emotions are just swinging. But once they settle into menopause, women, the testosterone levels are low. So they don't
As
go from
individual.
being alpha to beta to,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
switching roles. And
I think that's just society that's changing.
Was the
when I
Yeah.
was
see
the
that.
person discussing
Oh,
menopause? Was this person
well,
discussing
it was more along the
like
lines of
biology, or was it like
Well,
kind of masculine, feminine energy?
it was masculine, feminine
that's different.
energy, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that maybe the changes in the female anatomy, the body had an
Mhm.
effect on it. I can't quite remember, but I thought
Right,
I'd see
right.
if, there's something involved in that. But
I think my experience as a therapist and just like a human being addressing that is typically, like, let's say in a heterosexual relationship, the male will stereotypically hold more of the masculine energy and the woman more of the feminine energy, and that can change. There are some men who tend to be a bit more feminine. There are some women who tend to be a bit more masculine. You know, everyone's cut from different cloth, right? But like let's say a traditional calibration of man holding most of the masculine, woman holding most of the feminine, if that becomes depolarized or it changes, it can zero out the sex. It can make it very unromantic. You might be friends with her, you might have a good relationship with her, but attraction or sex or passion will be very much reduced.
yeah,
And the thing that I've seen is like, and this is like kind of classical male psychology, which is a
That's
different
interesting.
episode, is
Mhm.
is if the man begins to behave in ways that are less masculine or
Mhm.
not doing the role that the energy requires, what it will do for the woman is it will cause her to say, okay, I will do these things.
right.
And then that depolarization occurs. And
I've-
then the man can become more in the
Submissive.
feminine
see-
and she'll be in the more in the masculine. And the relationship can still work.
Right,
But it will not have passion, attraction, or sex.
see, now that's something that that
It's
seminar
different
did.
than biology.
Yeah,
Mhm,
it's different. It's
mhm.
different. I'm sorry, I
Very
didn't
well
mean to go off.
said.
Yes.
I
But
didn't
this
mean
is
to-
this thing.
No,
I didn't mean to go off.
These things.
No,
They kind of
Great.
commingle a little bit.
Interplay.
They work together.
And
these
and,
things.
and
Correct.
the thing I learned about it from that seminar, because I was
I think I know who you're
I was-
talking about.
I was-
I'm trying to pull up her name.
I'll tell you after the podcast, but
Okay.
I found out about myself because the women that I was attracting were more alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, and what happened is I was confused. Like what I would be. I've got a real sensitive side, but I didn't really know where it was coming from. But I found out that I'm an androgynous alpha male.
Interesting.
And
That doesn't mean-
Androgynous
Can you
alpha?
define
It doesn't-
that?
it-
Can
well,
you define
yeah,
that?
define-
It doesn't mean that. I mean, I have that sensitive
Mhm.
part of me.
Yes.
Okay, androgyny, and
Yes.
that's kind of
Yeah.
you understand that.
I understand.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I lose my masculinity
No,
and
no.
my alpha male. So what happens is I have the ability to go back and forth with those two.
Mhm.
And when I had the women that were more alpha, they would disrespect my alpha because they were so
Dominating.
well. Yeah, they were dominating.
What
But
was
they
the
also
traits or the behaviors of those women?
they also
What were the traits or the behaviors of those
well
women? you described?
they weren't. Yeah, what were the
Submissive.
traits?
Mhm.
traits.
Traits.
What you're saying there? I'm attracted to these.
Well, I
attract these
wasn't
alpha women.
necessarily
What is the-
attracted to them at first, but they approached me.
What is
Well, what were
their
their traits?
What are they like?
How
You
were
understand? Like, for example, was she very direct? Was she funny? You know, like what was the traits?
Yeah, in particular, energetic. Kind of.
was she dominant? Was she
Yeah,
was like, come on,
demanding.
Chris?
She was definitely dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that particular woman, and I don't like talking about past relationships.
No,
No, but we're just talking about what
But
traits were.
her traits are very dominant. She had to be
Controlling.
of the
Okay.
situation. She preferred, like, if she had, it was, she was bisexual, so she had to be the
Okay.
woman in charge. If
got
there
it.
was a woman in the, and I didn't have that experience with her because she said if we did, it would ruin the relationship. But then if she was around men, she had to it was all men.
So yeah, so
Mhm.
she
You
was
know.
very dominant.
Yeah.
Very dominant, very strong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I just
Was she
kind of
expressive?
I think so. Yeah, from what I can remember. But
Mhm.
I guess I was just
Mhm.
it
she a
struck my interest. I
dominatrix?
mean, huh?
Shit, dominatrix.
No.
Chris,
no.
are you in a
BDSM.
relationship now?
I am in a relationship
Yeah.
now. I met someone that I fell in love with, and
Oh,
I
nice.
I haven't felt what
Oh.
I haven't felt what I felt in a long time. I've had a lot of bad relationships,
Aw.
but
That's beautiful.
That's
and
nice.
she's an awesome lady, and but it took getting to this, all the things that I've gone through to get to the point of realizing that, that's nothing is ever perfect, and just because the grass looks greener doesn't mean it is.
Right.
They
And I
could
said
spray
that
it. They could spray the
many
grass.
And the
times.
grass is brown
But-
everywhere.
Turf.
Point, like back to your comment about the emotions,
Mhm.
and I think I learned that in this seminar also, that women respond hearing and verbal from men, and women and men are more physical eyes. They
Absolutely.
Visual.
and
Right.
so that's kind of like, I think it plays a big factor in
Mhm.
how a woman's
Desire
reacts,
reacts.
yeah.
Yeah. So the arousal starts first, and
Yeah.
then the desire. So
Right.
and the arousal could be like, something you heard,
Mhm.
music, something
Mhm.
reminded you, a smell,
Yeah,
That's-
smell.
any of
Yeah.
these things,
A
and
touch.
touch.
touch,
Yep.
and then the
A wink.
desire starts to build. But
And I always say
Um,
we're built like women are built like cars. You really need to warm us up. You got to get to
Yes.
that point. I mean, there's times
That's
where
a good
you're
analogy.
there's
Mhm.
times where you're in the mood and boom, wham, bam, thank you, man. But I mean, in the most part, women,
right,
you
and
gotta-
physiologically, you need the whole 20 minutes of foreplay just for the vagina to expand
Oh,
to
what is that?
accommodate the
Right there.
penis. It
Exactly.
takes
sounds
all that time. So everybody's just got to be having fun.
Yeah,
with-
fun.
yeah.
Be loosey
Uh,
Can you make a
goosey.
plug for that? Like that's really important, right? Like,
It is.
Yeah.
It's
supposed
such
to
a
be-
extremely
big
important.
deal.
It's
It's
supposed
supposed
to
to be
be-
fun.
life is
We could all
It
agree
shouldn't
on
Life
be
that.
is
work.
Life
Right.
is short. Life is so
Yeah.
short.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't
I
be
agree.
work. It should be. That's why I kind of like toys, because toys bring in fun to the situation. I like to do dress up. I like to do going to bars and acting like we don't know each other, and you meet me at the
Right.
bar
Oh,
and
wow.
buy me a drink, and we
Wow.
go
There
through
you
this
go.
whole thing. Although it backfired on me, but
But the fun, the play.
the
But
fun,
the
the
fun-
fun,
play.
yeah, the
Play
for-
role.
yeah.
It has to be
Role play, right? Role play.
Right.
Roll definitely
Yeah.
play.
Role
But I
play.
want to
Yeah.
know what that little mat is right there.
Before we finish up, because we got a couple of minutes.
Ah.
I think we're all interested in that.
Oh,
little-
in the grinder.
Yeah, what is that?
Let me grab
This is
that.
a grinder.
A grinder.
That's a good Judas Priest song.
Well, it's a grinder.
I want to know what that grinder is.
And so I have to say that I wasn't familiar with the grinder
Oh, did
until
I?
recently. And so my
Okay.
Oh, would
but-
you mind holding
Hold it up.
oh yeah,
There
hold
the
it up.
camera,
Sorry.
yeah.
So it lies flat, but it's
Mhm.
like this,
Mhm.
and so you sit on it. And you could put it in your chair. I saw a video. So the woman was sitting down just doing work, and everybody's working remotely these days. So she's sitting down, and this front part was down by the front of the vagina. And this is a ball that moves, okay? And so it puts pressure, and you can
I
basically
need one of
grind on
those.
this thing to orgasm. And then I learned
So it's
that
like
a lot
riding
of
a man.
yes.
Okay.
And
the
or you
saddle.
can turn it around and
Uh-huh.
do it opposite way. But then I found out that a lot of gay women, lesbians, like to have one that straps around the thigh,
Oh.
and so it's a grinder for here, and then they can have thigh sex, and then the there's one with a
Interesting.
well, I won't call it dildo. It's just like a projection up, so that if they want to, they can have something inside too.
Ooh.
So okay, yeah. So that's this. This is
Hmm.
Because
different.
I mean, I'm gonna let loose with Lou.
Yes.
Clitoral stimulation is what I prefer, and clitoral stimulation gets me like totally off.
right.
I mean, I can have the other stuff, but that is what really, and I think a lot of men don't understand. I don't know if it's all women, because some women like
Hmm.
the insertion,
Well, there's
but
a couple
clitoral is my set off. So that's why oral sex is amazing for me.
Mhm.
So all the toys is amazing for me. I can do insertion, that's fine too, but I need that clitoral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most women are having clitoral orgasms, and
Exactly.
not so much
Yeah.
but the thing that they have to understand too is that the the clitoris isn't just the little knob.
Right.
That it's like a turkey bone, wishbone.
Yeah.
So the stimulation
yeah.
there and all the way down
Yeah,
the labia
yes.
minora
All those
too, all
little
that,
nerves. Yeah.
the blood vessels,
And
all
there's,
that.
yeah,
engorgement.
there's, oh my God, there's so much.
We
you can
need
get into.
donations for this.
Yeah, we're going to, I don't know, we might have to have you back.
Okay.
Because this is really
Yeah, I got a
good
few more things.
questions
Okay.
to ask.
I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah.
It might be in a part 2, right?
Yes.
Part
Okay.
2, yeah.
Well, you guys, unfortunately, this session is at its end, and it's been so interesting and so good. Dr. Lynch,
was
my
good.
God, thank you so much.
Well, thank
It's
you.
been such an
Nice meeting
honor.
you all
Oh,
too.
as well. What do you have?
Great
to,
discussion.
Well, I'd love it if maybe we could all just give like a couple, like 30 seconds or less final tips. You know, I would just say that I think that what I got out of this conversation is that, like, go see a doctor. Like, don't feel so bad. You know,
Absolutely.
go find someone like Dr. Lynch and take care of yourself. You know,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
It's a good one.
You deserve to enjoy, and that
Yes,
sex is
you
supposed to be
deserve.
fun. Like
Fun.
whatever floats your boat. If your partner's into it and you're into it, do it.
Do
I
it.
agree.
Do
Mhm.
it.
Agree.
And my little 2 cents is, don't be shy. Go ahead and don't be embarrassed to introduce something new into the relationship. Something new is always good. It can spark. A spark always starts a fire. That's what I
Yes,
have to
Yes.
say.
very good. I
Agree.
like
How
that.
about you, Chris? You want to put any inputs to this?
To thine own self be true.
There we go.
That's very
Noldie
good.
but a
I
goodie.
like that.
There we go.
I
No,
like
but a
that.
goodie. Well,
How about
thank
you, doctor?
I'd just like to say, reiterate what you said is that there's a lot of good information. There's nothing to be shy about.
at all.
Ask.
That's right.
Yes, and you'll hear it.
And with that said, we are going to conclude this episode. Thank you, Dr. Lynch, so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And give her a call if you guys have any questions, any concerns. Give her a call, Dr. Cristal Lynch. All her information will
Oh,
be
thank you.
hopefully right on our website.
Or she can be Googled, right?
Or Google.
Oh, yes, you can Google
her.
me. Mhm.
Let her know. Let Loose with Lou. Sent ya. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching and listening. It truly means the world to me. If you enjoy the show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe at Let Loose with Lou on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.